What's up everybody, welcome back again di channel Papa Dejet. Dan kali ini gue sudah bertemu sama salah satu teman lama gue. Kita ketemu tuh udah dari GESC. Lagi-lagi GESC yang memulai semua karir internasional gue. Sebenarnya nggak karir internasional, but hopefully it's gonna be my international career. But kita udah ketemu sama salah satu yang di sini ada Sean Hades. Kita langsung panggil aja di sini. Ada Sean Hades. Hello Sean. I can hear you. Hello.
Oh, what's up? Thanks for having me, dude.
Okay, hello. Are you good? All right, all right.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
okay,
Thanks.
okay. So, what are you doing right now? Like, are you still doing a cast? Because I know you're doing a lot of things, doing the coaching things, and still able to do the casting in some game. Not even Dota. There's a lot of game that you cast. Are you still casting right now, man?
Not anymore. I don't think I really casted for like a year and a half now because I was trying to transition to the coaching or managing part of things in the team.
Okay.
Kind of went around a bit. Now I'm just like doing more like designing curriculums for esports in Singapore.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, yeah. I helped to design a program with Twitch recently to help Singaporean streamers.
Okay, good. Like, it's gonna be a big deal, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of crazy. Twitch actually like the amount of Singapore streamers like grew really big in Singapore for some reason.
Wow. Okay. So before we talk about Dota, we're gonna talk about your career first. But not only your career, but I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions about building a career in Southeast Asia Dota scene. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure. Anytime.
Okay. Let's start with when exactly your career start as a shortcaster, or maybe not as a shortcaster, but when exactly your career start as a esport guy? Is it start as a shortcaster immediately, or you have any background as a esport guy before become a shortcaster? Sam.
Oh, I started as I did shoutcasting basically like in about 2014.
Okay.
I was still in university. I attended my first event.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Gods and Toby came to Singapore for the
Okay.
first. That was my first time going to a Dota event. So I was like, oh wow, these guys are like really cool. I want to try it too. So it became a hobby, and over the years, beyond the summit, ESL, they were nice enough to give me opportunities, and then I just got better over time.
Okay. So you start immediately as a shortcaster.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And do you remember the first game that you ever cast?
Whew. I casted everything, like amateur Dota, all the way
Mm-hmm.
back then. When you had the ticket system in Dota.
I know.
Yeah, I casted like everything you could get. So I would go like message all these Facebook pages. I'm like, hey, do you need a caster? I also casted a female Dota back then. Like that, they had this like all female team league asterisk inside. I think you had NXL.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these organizations were inside, and that's where I basically started.
Okay, so we're having a same age, like age of the casting scene of Dota that's still using a ticket, something like that. Okay. Okay, so what kind of experience or what kind of feeling that you ever got after you're doing your first casting game? Is it like you feel that yeah, this is my way of life? I'm gonna do this for life or for living, something like that. Is that you feel like that?
I don't think like I saw myself doing it for a living at first
Mm-hmm.
because like I said, I did it as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I did it because I enjoy Dota. Even
Okay.
to now, it's still like my favorite game after all these years.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, as more opportunities were given to me, I was like, hey, maybe just maybe this could become my living.
Okay, so if you still say that Dota is your favorite game, what is exactly happens with your career right now? Like, uh, when you exactly know that you're not gonna be as a Dota 2 shortcaster again, and you change your game to mobile games, which is Mobile Legend. What is happening with what is your decision back then?
For me, when I accepted the job to be a head coach for ML,
Mm-hmm.
to me it's like I wanted to learn because
Okay.
before I joined Aura Esports, I was with SKT T1 for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
like in the phase of like when they were building their team. So I thought, everything to me is like I just want to keep learning because the
Mm-hmm.
main reason why I got into shoutcasting in the first place
Mm-hmm.
was because I wanted to, be a part of the competitive scene no matter what.
Okay.
Like even if I went to events, like whether it was like GSC Indonesia,
Yeah.
ESL, I always be like, I just wanna learn. I just wanna know what's going on in the players' minds because I've always been a competitor since young. Whether it's
Okay.
like normal sports like soccer, badminton, basketball, I did everything. Then
Mm.
after I had an operation, I went to esports.
Okay, great. So let's talk about Dota right now.
Sure.
But let me ask this: are you still watching or play Dota recently? Like right now tonight, you're gonna play some games with your friend or something like that. Do you still doing that?
Yeah, I don't play as much as I used to. I don't get to
Mm-hmm.
grind, but I still have fun playing every now and then with a couple of friends.
Because last time I see your ID is almost reaching immortal, right? Or even you get the immortal and then you leave Dota.
Yeah, I got immortal, and then after that, like I think over a period of time I dropped and I kept going up. It keeps going up and down, but that's because of the inconsistency in which I play nowadays. But
Yeah.
I still play for fun with friends, and I try to help them learn. Those who want to learn.
Okay, so my next question is: do you have any difficulty adapting from being a shortcaster to become a coach? I know it's a different thing to learn to implement something like that because the first team that you coach was either Axion or Alter Ego. I forgot. Can you remind me?
I was with XCN first.
Axion first, okay?
After that, yeah, I was an analyst,
Mm-hmm.
and after that I went to Alter Ego. But to answer your question, I don't think it was too hard because with XCN, I had teammates who were friends.
Oh,
I think you already did a podcast on them, Tuhoy.
Tuhoy. Yeah, I know Tuhoy.
Yeah, Tuhoy, and Tuhoy was like the biggest troll. It was,
The biggest
uh,
troll.
yeah, dude. He made I think like I realize that Indonesian people, the way you guys are very like hospitable, right? You guys are really nice and all that.
Mm.
But Tuhoy decided it was funny to let me try KFC, that chocolate chicken thing.
Oh my lord, Tuhoy, what are you doing with this guy?
My first day in Indonesia, and after that he's like, hey, this you should try this. It's really good. Indonesian people love it. And I was like, what? Okay, I'll just try it, and it was just the weirdest taste. It
Okay,
was just so weird. Yeah.
because he lied on in the first place. No one in Indonesia like that. No one in
Yeah.
Indonesia like that menu. If you wonder, is it Tuhoy telling the truth or not? I'm telling you now, there is no Indonesian people love KFC with the chocolate. I'm telling you now, right now. So you're not gonna
That
get.
makes a lot.
Yeah, now you make sense, right? Why you're not like it?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Okay,
But
so.
back to your question
Uh-huh.
part. Besides that, I think okay, when it comes to like being learning how to work in a team,
Mm-hmm.
I think it wasn't that hard because I've always been in teams. Like I said, since I was young. But the
Okay.
part which I needed to adapt because as a shoutcaster, we see things from like a third person perspective.
Okay.
It's different once you're actually in the scrims.
Sure.
So it took me like maybe like a bit of time to adjust.
Okay.
So, but it did open up my eyes, and at least having the open mind helped me to keep wanting to learn whatever was going on between these guys who are like what in the top 100, top 200 in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Hearing their perspective on Dota is always more enriching
Mm-hmm.
than like just watching it.
Okay. So which one is the hardest one? Like, is it starting a career as a shotcaster or become a coach?
I would actually say as a coach because as a
Okay.
shoutcaster, passion, learning how to speak right, these are things you can learn
Mm-hmm.
or you already have. But in the competitive scene, it's kind of like soccer, right? It's you're either that good to get there or you're not,
Okay.
and you need that experience.
Okay. So, I'm gonna ask you this because I know what is happening with Axian, but I do not know what is happening with Alter Ego because you mentioned it on a previous on before we start the recording. You mentioned about about what is happening with Alter Ego. No, I don't know. And now I am asking you, what is happening with Alter Ego? That why them splitting? Like you guys almost win any championship together. You in the part being part of them as a coach, and Mikoto is one of the best mid laner in Indonesia, and Altrigo have it. Why they splitting? Like, is there any reason above that?
I mean, I'm not so sure about the split part. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
for me, when I left was because we went through quite a few roster shuffles,
Yes.
and I can see why. Like now that when I think back to it, I don't think it was anyone's like to blame particularly. I think it's because you got all these like super talented Indonesian players. You got Mikoto,
Yeah.
you got Barbie Usagi. That time you still had Fioru,
Mm-hmm.
and then you also have Haida. Who is now the
Yeah.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So like you got all these these super talented Indonesian players, and everyone wants to win. But
Mm-hmm.
when you don't get the results, things just happen.
Okay.
But other than that, I think there was also for me like why I left was because I felt like there was a lot of pressure. Like because when you there's this thing where you have coach and analyst,
Mm-hmm.
but not all the time they get to work together. The language barrier like made it
Ah,
hard for us to work together.
the language barrier. Like, yeah, Indonesian people still talking. I don't know, like, talk with a good intention and a bad intention, always with Indonesian language, and sometimes you don't understand, or foreigner people doesn't understand what we're talking. That's the language barrier, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
also because I was like working from Singapore, so obviously that's hard. Remotely
Yeah.
working is not the same as working in a team house.
Yeah, because I do remember that you just visiting Indonesia like just 2 or 3 days and then you go back, and that's only for the big tournament that Alter Ego joined, right?
Yeah, but I think that one was more on me because
Mm-hmm.
I think if I recall, like living conditions were not too ideal, so
Ah,
I was reluctant,
okay.
and because I also had like the time I was living like in Singapore paying rent, so
Mm-hmm.
obviously I had to deal with that.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay. So my next question is about joining a T1. I do remember that there's a lot of article that are talking about you joining a T1. Sorry, joining a T1. And are you joining T1 as a coach too, or something else like analyst or something like that?
No, I was just as a manager.
Just a
I
manager.
was yeah, I wasn't. I wanted to try for the analyst role
Mm-hmm.
because back then that was when Genespris
Yeah,
they
it's an
came to
Esperis.
Singapore and yeah, and Forev, he asked like, hey, can you help us set up a boot camp? And he told me like secretly back then, like he's like, hey, if we do well, I'm in talks with this organization. And I was like, oh wow, because I even though I did a bit of shortcasting in between then, like between my time with Alter Ego and T1, I always wanted to go back to the competitive scene.
Okay.
So I took it. I took the role as manager, and yeah, it was a very eye opening experience being in a great organization at T1.
Okay. So same question. Is it hard to become a new role for your career? Like as a manager, you become a coach before as a shotcaster, still battling in the competitive sense. But this time you play your role as a manager. Is that so hard to manage all the 5 kids, different hats that you have in the same page, and you manage them? Is that hard?
For me, yes. I wouldn't say kids. I mean, you also gotta look at it like in the sense where I went from being in tier two-ish teams
Yes.
to suddenly I'm going in like a tier one organization. The
Mm-hmm.
culture is different. The expectations are different. Even when they tell we're in this long term, we just want to make sure that you guys do things the right way. And
Okay.
on top of that, there was the role change. I wasn't used to being a manager. I was used to being managed as an analyst. So
Okay.
taking the role as a manager and on top of the language barrier once again was
Mm-hmm.
quite an obstacle.
Okay.
But I definitely learned a lot from that.
Okay. So another role, another opportunity, another career path for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk specifically on the DPC season right now. Like the DPC season is basically almost over, right? We're just having a last week within few days before we record this. Of course, it's gonna be end soon, and the first major is gonna be on your country, on a Singapore,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, okay. And based on your opinion, is there any surprising team right now in the DPC first season that come out? Oh, this team is quite good. Like, is there any specific team that you comes out on your mind that qualified for that question?
Mm, Not really. I mean, I kind of expected it
Mm-hmm.
roughly, but the part which surprised me is Neon Esports doing as well as they did.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't really too surprised because they already had good players all for quite a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it just took a bit of time for Scam to adjust. Back then when he was on Complexity, he played carry, and then moving over
Yeah.
to like playing the captain role, support role thing was something which really surprised me at how well they did.
Yeah. But I think he played good as a position 4 right now, right? Oh, position 5.
Four or five? Oh,
Four.
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 Sorry, yeah,
Four. Yeah. Well, as a
yeah,
position
which
4.
shows.
Mm-hmm. I
No, no, I
think.
think it's how talented he is, which really surprised me because like even Natsumi, he came from Adroit, so
Yes.
you have like you already technically you have like these major level players, and then you also have like Playhard who has been around for a while,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really wasn't expecting how well they did. They're like what, second in the table right now?
I do believe it's second, or yeah, it's second. I
Yeah,
believe,
second.
yeah, it's second because they finally lose on the last week. They lose one game against Fnatic, I do believe, or TNC. I
Yeah,
don't remember.
I guess
Fnatic,
against Fnatic.
yeah, against Fnatic, right? And that's for the upper division. What about the lower division? Is there any surprise for you on the lower division? Like there's a team that
Or-
suddenly come out on the lower division and comes to the qualified for the upper division, something like that.
Mm, I'm just gonna quickly look at the names again.
Sure, it's okay.
I mean, not so much because all the people who are in there. I mean, okay, the part maybe like Logan
Mm-hmm.
and the Burmese team was Yangon Galacticos.
Yangon
I think
Galacticos.
I was very surprised to see like the Lil Gun doing that well
Mm-hmm.
because these guys like I don't think that many people know too much about them. The Yangos Galacticos, I felt like these guys are really smart, but I didn't expect them to perform as or to struggle that badly. I think they did as good as they can,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, basically that. Lil Gun was the one which really caught me off guard in lower div because, like I said, no one knows who they were. I only saw like maybe the Ash 12 and Hishki, but the other three I don't really know too much.
Okay, because you're not mentioned about this team that I wanted to ask. I want to know what do you think about the player that creating an all-star team, or maybe we call it, or not we, like I call it a kickstack team, kickstack team. Like in your dream with the team ups with the Dreamochel, his team ex teammates, and a lot of teams or player that stacking together to just qualify to the lower division, and the result is not as good as they comes out for in the first place. Like they're gonna conquer the lower division, something like that. And Hoyo and 02 actually in the danger situation when we record this, like Hoyo actually already out from the lower division. Am I right?
Hoyo, yeah, they're
Yeah,
down from the lower
yeah,
division.
they're gonna out from the lower division. 02, I do believe they still have a chance to stay on the lower division. What do you think about them that creating a stack? Is it just only for, yeah, I'm still exist in this the first division season in the 2021, something like that, or do you have any other opinion?
I mean, starting with 02 first. I mean, I'm always a fan of anyone, especially like Poloson. We're friends, and
Yep.
I always want to support him as a Singapore player. Especially, I was hoping that he would have stayed on T1. But regarding like 02, because you can't have too much of a good thing, otherwise it becomes bad, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you look at it, Dreamocell, Chuan, In Your Dream. I think I'm not used to seeing like one of them playing in pause 3. I can't remember what was it. In Your Dream was playing pause 3 for a bit.
No, in your dream playing as a post 4.
As a 4, yeah. See,
Yes.
I'm not used to that because I've always seen him in like 1 or 2.
102, yes.
Yeah, and then with Dreamocell and In Your Dream, I think it's been a proven factor that since that time at Boom together, somehow the things just don't really work out despite all that star power. And I feel like maybe Dreamocell also he's lost his motivation along the way. He used to be like one of the top, like maybe top 10 or something with In Your Dream. I remember when Indo Dota was like dominating the leaderboard at top 10. So that's why everyone was like, oh my god, Boom is a godlike team.
Yes.
And then when you look at Hoyo, I mean, I can only speculate because I don't really know anything about it. But Miracle, another Singaporean, which I also wanted to support. But I don't know. Maybe it could be like their approach to the game and stuff. I didn't really watch too many of the games, to be honest. But I think also like maybe because 4F can't really commit. Playing with lag is actually a lot harder than it seems. Despite MVP doing okay, he's playing with like shitty ping last before. Dude, when I tried it as well, I was like, oh my god, like Koreans always been playing with like, even though it says 90 ping, it feels like it's worse. So I've always been like, I always think back to like how for example, like how Febby plays. I'm like, does this guy look into the future? Because
yes, it is.
It's really hard. So I mean, these are just things you got to take into account. But I think these guys are just trying to do their best, trying to perform so that better teams can pick them up.
Okay, so last question about the Dota. What are your expectation for the first major? Like we're having a pandemic right now. and the organizer said that this is gonna be a first LAN event for the DPC season in the pandemic season too. Like, do you have any expectation about? Yeah, I know it's gonna be hype in Singapore, in the Southeast Asia especially, because everyone, even capitalists, said that just two region that make him have a ghost bomb. It's only on the European and also in the Southeast Asian. Wherever the country is, wherever Dota comes to Southeast Asia, he got ghost bomb. Like, if we talk in Singapore, I know I've been in Singapore. We met also in Singapore, right? Even not only major and minor event. There's a big event in Singapore, and also get a ghost bomb over there. Do you have any expectation for the first major in Southeast Asia in this pandemic season, San?
I hope that the event runs smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
No one has COVID for the first thing. Like the first thing, safety, health. That's the biggest thing.
Yes, of course.
And I think I'm just happy that if Dota picks up more traction in Southeast Asia, because to me, this event means a lot more to the region than to a lot of the players. You got all these talented players around, but not enough organizations. I'm pretty sure in Indonesia you can see like there's a struggle to even find Dota organizations.
Sure, because we're having a lot of mobile games organization right now. Just I'm happy that Boom still managed to survive with the PC games, especially in Dota. I'm so happy that they still managed to survive. But yeah, but Indonesian team or organization, let's say, they love to create mobile games in Indonesia, right?
Yeah, I think that's just around Southeast Asia right now. Even in Singapore, it's the same.
Oh, really?
It's hard to establish. It's hard to establish like teams because of we're just so underdeveloped. But at least for the major, I just hope that it runs smoothly, and I hope they open up to the audience, because I don't think they're given info on like ticketing sales, that kind of stuff yet.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah, so you never know. It could be like M2. M2 is like just the teams playing from the hotel.
Yes, I know that. Yes.
Yeah, so I hope that at least the Singapore major, they do let some people in, because you're never gonna get this kind of opportunity during this pandemic. Like, not often.
Not often. Okay. So back to the career thing to close this podcast. Of course, we're going to my last few question for you, and start again with the career. Do you have any words to the people in Southeast Asia, for the person to trying to build his or her career in Southeast Asia through the esport, especially in Dota scenes? As a senior, for me, you are my senior. I do believe you having a lot of experience, more than me in term of international cast, like in English cast, something like that. Do you have any words for them to start their career? Is it too late to start the career, or this is the right time to start the career because of the pandemic, everyone trying to make a content, something like that? Do you have any words?
I always tell people this when they want to improve and grow, which is be very self-aware, even for me, which is don't be afraid to fail. The part which people never tell you about like growing or even like climbing in esports is it can be a bit lonely at times. So you have to be ready to like just keep powering through all of that. That's why like you ask anyone, to tell you have to have passion for the game, and it really will keep you like alive in your growth and your journey to grow as a commentator, especially.
Okay.
Because you don't see many like Dota Southeast Asian casters anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so that part, like I hope we see more Southeast Asian talent, and hopefully, who knows, maybe like we'll see some good enough to be in the majors to represent the region.
Hopefully, because the one guy that's still active as a Southeast Asia shortcaster, I think it's a Cyclops.
Yeah, I think he did the lower division.
Yeah, the lower division, right?
And there was this other guy. Is it Michael Phoenix and John X Fire?
John. Yeah, I know John.
Yeah.
I watch him. Okay. So yeah, I also have hopefully there's a lot of new talent that comes out from Southeast Asia region, because the last time we see is like the MC States, Arinam. Yeah, I do believe he's the one that represents Southeast Asia because of his power, his present on the stage, something like that. So my last question, it's about when is exactly your hardest time when you start your esport career, Sam?
For me, the hardest part. Oh, this one is uh, top of my head was I had to decide
Mm-hmm.
between casting or to mourn for my grandfather who passed away.
Oh, okay.
So, but the thing is, he's always been so supportive, and even though, he had passed away, like my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother was like really sad. She told me, she's like, no, you should keep doing it because you really like it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really hard for me. I remember casting. I think it was ESL the spring. BTS was nice to ask, hey, do you want to cast these, these Chinese games?
Mm-hmm.
And back then, I think he didn't have many interest in the Chinese region, but I still did it anyways because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to improve. But it definitely wasn't easy because the whole time I was trying like not to cry and stuff and try not to think too much about it. But yeah, basically that's it.
I know the feel because yeah, there's one of two job that me get offered for the job when my father passed away. So I know the feel about what you said before. So there's a rainbow after the rain, right? When is exactly
Yeah,
the
for
most
sure.
happy time you as a esport guy, as a shotcaster, or even as a coach or yeah as a manager maybe which one the most happy time of you had is
I think I have specific moments for each if that's all right. Which is
mm-hmm.
as a
Sure, it's
shoutcaster,
okay.
the shoutcasting part was being included to the major qualifiers for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Boston major because I was with a laptop. So I went all in, used my life savings, got myself a proper like streaming PC.
Uh-huh.
And when I kept getting invited to more majors, that was the happiest moment for me. Like even
Okay,
like TI qualifiers, being a part of TI.
sure.
As an analyst or manager part, I would guess I would say it would still have been with Axion, like being in the booth.
Axion.
IGC, that was like IGC back then.
Yes, IGC, Indonesia Games Championship.
Yeah, that was like in a sense like it was to me it was like okay, I finally done it. I'm finally in a team. I know how it feels like to be in the booth, even when you have like all the Indonesian fans jeering at us because we are the most foreign team.
I
But
know.
that part was fun because I was like, okay, yeah, I finally have like hit part of my dreams, being
Yeah,
part of a proper team.
okay. And the last one as a coach.
As a coach, well, I wasn't really a coach in
In
any
the
Dota teams,
uh-huh.
but for me, being a coach where I could strategize, I mean, I've only in ML, so even just like being able to talk to the players, being able to lead, I think that was something which just yeah,
Okay.
it made me very proud because I wish I could eventually coach again, but you never know. We'll see.
Okay, so one more question. This is just come out on my head. Is it so hard to get respect from the player, from your teammates, when you become a analyst or even a coach? Like, you know, in Indonesia, there's a lot of thing that makes player doesn't respect the coach because yeah, who are you? You just a shotcaster. I mean, like you're not even top 100 in the MMR ranking. You know, why I have to get some respect from you? You're not even better than me. Is it so hard to get their respect, Sen?
With some players, yes.
Mm-hmm.
With some players, not so much. So
Not
it
so
really
much.
depends on who you work with.
Okay.
Like I think an example is maybe Mikoto, for example, right?
Is
Like
it
in
hard
our
or
time
is it
at
easy?
his was like sometimes easy, sometimes hard to be honest. It was like it's very unstable because like sometimes he has his good days, sometimes he has his bad days.
I know.
But with him, like when you show him examples, like hey, this team is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to basically show them like more relatable examples. Because
Okay.
like you said, I'm not top 100. Why would he listen to me?
Yeah, that's.
So you have to go and like show them this is what they're doing and this is what I'm trying to tell you, and
Oh,
then it's easier for them to understand.
okay. Okay. Because I know uh, that's gonna be hard because yeah, a lot of Indonesian people doesn't respect if the people that talking to him is not even better than him. Something like that in Indonesia. There's and that's happens a lot in esport organization in Indonesia. Like the player to
I
the
think
coach.
to me, I think that's a Southeast Asian thing, or just anywhere in general. I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
fine because if you don't have that's why I say like don't be afraid to fail. You need to get that experience first.
Okay.
Be prepared to be stepped on. So at least when you finally get into a team, you can be like, now when I was with these guys, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're on a team where one player is someone which your current team players respect, and it's easier to say, hey, these guys did that.
Okay. Okay then.
Yeah.
So, all right, a lot of question is done. Hades, like a lot of things you have been told me. You share the stories of yours, like the career, the Dota things, the when you become a coach, become a shortcaster for the first time, something like that. I just want to say thank you for your time, because yeah, I know this is my second time interviewing someone from outside Indonesia, and I'm sorry if my English is so bad. To
No,
make
it's
you
okay. I think you're doing good.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we can meet again on the first major in Singapore, okay?
Yeah, sure thing. Hope to
Uh,
see you too.
okay, because I do believe there's a rule that Singapore still ban people from Indonesia to come to the.
Really?
Yeah, is it? Is it? Is it?
Then,
I do read the article like week ago.
then how did they come for M2? That's so weird. But
I don't know. I don't know. Because a week ago, I just read that after I know the rumors and the publishing about the first major, and I do final research something like that about is it Indonesian people able to visit to Singapore, and they said I can, something like that.
well, who knows? We still have quite some time
Quite
for
sometimes until
Singapore
March.
marriages. So hopefully things get a bit better.
Okay, so thank you for your time, San. Good luck on your next career, on whatever you're doing next on your journey. Goodbye for now. See you next time.
See you
Bye.
next time. Bye.